The 1918 Spanish flu was the deadliest pandemic of the last century. It infected a quarter of the world's 1.9 billion people and killed 50 to 100 million. But the size of the spread isn't the only reason we should study it. In the middle of the outbreak, something strange happened. A mutation that defied expectations and delivered disturbing ailments. Why did this happen? We cover scientific studies. Subscribe to join us. It began as seemingly normal. When it first emerged in March 1918, the H1N1 virus appeared as a strain that was highly contagious but mild. Early cases were registered in U.S. Army Camp Funston, Kansas, and Etaples, France, the site of a British military training camp. This newspaper article from April shows hospitals began reporting rising admission rates for influenza and pneumonia, but the War Department continued to rate conditions satisfactory. That would soon change. Allied troops fighting in close quarters in World War I spread the virus over the next few months. An estimated 3/4 of the French military was infected by May, and half of Britain's troops. Still, mortality rate remained low, around 0.1%, and symptoms were usually just fatigue and fever for a few days. But next, something strange happened. Cases recovered over the summer, and people thought it had gone away. In August 1918, that changed. Word began to get out that a more severe, often fatal mutation occurred. Troop transports traveling from England spread this new strain to France, South Africa, and the eastern US. Mortality spiked to 3%. And unlike before, normally healthy people aged 25 to 35 were affected the worst. Particularly deadly, the second strain's tendency to cause a cytokine storm, an overreaction of the body's immune system. Those with stronger immune systems are affected the most. In October 1918 alone, 195,000 Americans died. And the way they were dying caused panic among hospital staff and the general population. Not just fever anymore, victims now suffered from severe nosebleeds. Sometimes the blood would just shoot across the room, one nurse wrote. Bleeding from the ears also occurred. Some victims' lungs would fill with fluids, and once their bodies began to lack oxygen, their skin would turn a blue-black color. This earned the second wave the nickname the Blue Death. In rare instances, when a patient suffered lung collapse, air became trapped beneath their skin. Another nurse wrote, "As we rolled the dead in winding sheets, their bodies crackled, an awful crackling noise, which sounded like Rice Krispies when you pour milk over them." Autopsies of soldiers later revealed lung damage equivalent to the effects of chemical warfare, according to British doctors. So, why did this mutation happen? Often, natural selection steers a virus to mutate into a more mild viral strain. Those who are mildly sick spread the virus among others, and those who are more sick stay home. In 1918, though, the front lines of World War I reversed this. Soldiers with the mild strain stayed outside, in close but rarely packed quarters. And those with more severe symptoms rode crowded trains to even busier field hospitals, and the deadlier version spread. This is one reason isolation in hospitals today is important. Virologists continue to watch SARS-CoV-2, a novel coronavirus spreading across the planet. The threat of a more severe mutation is why health officials are watching areas with poor treatment facilities, social instability, or distrust of the medical profession. And a second strain may have already branched out, though we need more data. Chinese scientists in a paper published on March 3rd found evidence of this. They analyzed the genetic sequences of 103 samples of infected patients and found two versions, an L-type and an S-type. The S-type, they say, is more similar to coronaviruses in bats and pangolins and may have circulated far earlier than last December. It just wasn't severe enough to get noticed. The newer strain, L-type, then became more prevalent in Wuhan, they say, and appears more aggressive and transmittable. This is far from confirmed, though. The WHO said not to overinterpret these findings, and other scientists have called for a retraction of the paper, claiming the sample size is too small. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like this content, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Links to all references are below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.